Shalom, Kal Allah, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaKahakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, of GMS, that do rule well, that do teach well, that have taught me this truth. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect. So 444 on the dot, that represents mercy. That's more than what I deserve. Being in this place, in this flesh, in this go around, but it's more than what I can ask for, because in terms of how I fell short in this life and even in my past life. But hey, the Lord is still distributing mercy, even though He doesn't have to. But it's beautiful. 444. It's a very powerful number. But anyways, just moving forward, I'm going to do another MOTB watch. This is going to be another installment of that. The last one I did was back in June actually. Yeah, June 2024. That was the last time I did one. So I'm going to continue that. So this is going to be an MOTB watch. And as you can see here, it says Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. Wow. And the link will be in the description, biometricupdate.com. That's the website. Link will be in the description. And it says Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previously optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. Last month, legislators approved amendments to a law related to the 18-character personal identifier known as Unique Population Registry Code, with the change formalized on Wednesday through a decree. The mandatory CURP will contain personal and biometric information, including a photograph and a QR code containing biometric fingerprint and iris data. The identifier is expected to be introduced gradually to all Mexicans by February 2026. So you see, so this is law now. Last month, legislators approved amendments to a law related. Okay, and it also says, when you read further up, Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law. So this is law, and that's what mandatory means. It's going to be written in law. But that reminds me of Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto, actually, I'll just pull it up. It says, Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And this is very grievous. Grievous in terms of leading you away to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and that's why it's grievous. Because if you take this, man, you're going to become an enemy unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want to be an enemy to the crown, the righteous crown, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and that's what He's coming back to do. He's coming back to take the crowns off of the heads of these wicked rulers that are in charge of the earth today, man. The powers that be are pursuing to Romans the 13th chapter, man. And He's coming back. So you don't want to be an enemy unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Hey, so I believe that's in the book of Luke. I think that's, let me get that, man. Since I'm mentioning that, Luke, I think it's 19. It just came to mind, man. You see here. This is Luke chapter 19, verse 27. But those mine enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Yeah. If you're anti-Christ or anti-Yahushai, hey, He's going to slay you. And what makes you anti-Yahushai? If you take the MOTB, man, pledging allegiance to this wicked system, the satanic system. So you're going to become an enemy, and that's what you don't want. Now, going back to Isaiah 10:1, obviously, let's go back to that. Oops, I'll move this up. Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what's ultimately going to happen. You're going to be robbed, spoiled, raped. And, just going back to the word grievous, man, it is going to be grievous unto you, because this comes with a grievous sword. Grievous sword. That sword goes back to Egypt, but we're in modern Egypt, pursuing to Revelation 11:8. This is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. I say that all the time. I quote it all the time, and I read it all the time. But it's true. Back in the ancient world, when we were living in Egypt, Egypt received sores. That was the many plagues, and that same sore is going to come upon you if you take the MOTB. That comes with a cancerous type of sore if you take it. If you put this in your flesh, you're not supposed to be putting any foreign objects in your flesh, and when you do that, you get sick, and that's what it comes. It comes with a grievous sore. But this whole thing, this MOTB, this chip, it's all grievous. It's all oppression. You're monitored on every level. Things become more centralized. Well, it's going to make a more centralized government, meaning complete control. There's going to be so much restrictions on you. It's going to be unbearable. Hey, Klaus Schwab and his cronies, the former the former head of the WEF, World Economic Forum, he said that you will own nothing and be happy about it. And that goes into the MOTB. That's what he really means, the MOTB, that system they're going to bring forth with the MOTB, the mark of the beast. So, anyways, it says, and what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave your glory? Now, going back here, let's read a little more. Now, it says the government has also allowed the consolidation of the citizens' codes into a single identity platform that will be connected to other state databases, administrative records. According to the decree, the Ministry of the Interior and the Digital Transformation Agency must create a unified identity platform within 90 days, while public and private institutions will be required to update their system to recognize the identifier. The country also plans to kickstart a national program to collect biometric data from children and adolescents within 121 days, according to news outlet Mexico Business. And you have to remember, Mexico is down with the game. Remember, Mexico is a part of NATO, and that's NATO is a part of, well, they're a part of the UN, not NATO. Sorry, they're really a part of the UN, United Nations. The United Nations, I believe, they were one of the 51st founding members. Yeah, I think they were the 51st founding member. Yeah, one of the 51 founding members of the UN. When I go back, if you go into the history of the UN, I believe that was back in the 40s, the mid 40s. I think that was 1946. My dates might be off, but I know it was around the 40s, mid 40s. So yeah, the UN, NATO, the EU, that's the beast, right? That's a part of the 7 heads and 10 horns, and also the whore that rides the beast when you go into the book of Revelation. So they're down with the game, man. They're down with the game, and they don't have a problem with bringing forth the MOTB and the NWO. And you can see it right here. Hey, that's why they're making it mandatory for their citizens to partake in this biometric system. And that's going to transform later on. It's going to transform, man, into an actual chipping. You something being inserted in your flesh. Let me see here. Let's get Revelation 17 here. Okay, I want to start from here. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. And who is the woman? The woman represents the United States of America today. She is the whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay, she's the top kingdom on the planet Earth, and America is that. They're also known as the hammer of the earth. They're also known as Babylon. They're also known as Rome, Egypt, and Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? This is America. Right? This is America. Sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Yes, and that beast, that scarlet-colored beast, full of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, represents the EU, NATO, and the UN. Okay, and Mexico is a part of this, man. They're a part of this beast, and the beast is going to do great damage to the world. You know, they're going to be responsible for bringing forth a system, and that starts with America. So, hey, Mexico is down with the game, and you can see it. All the signs are there. Okay, and so this article is not too old. This came out in July 18, 2025. So a few days ago, man. About 7 days ago. Right, 7 days ago. Right, so yeah, so there you go, man. It's solemn. You know, we're living in a very solemn time, man. We're really close. We're really close. We're really close. Things can pop off at any moment, man. And the prophecies are fulfilling. They're popping off like popcorn, and you should take heed to that. So that's why you got to make your calling and election sure. Matter of fact, let me get that precept. This is 2 Peter's chapter 1, verse 10. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, ye shall never fall. For so an entrance shall be ministered unto you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior Hamashiach Yahushua. But yeah, give diligence, man. And that's a very serious word, a powerful word, diligence. You got to do whatever it takes. You got to make it your duty, right? To make your calling and election sure. Yeah, many are called, but few are chosen. So you were called into this thing, but are you chosen? And the way that you show that you're chosen, or you get to that point of being chosen, right? You have to show diligence. You know, you could say that, oh yeah, you know, I love brothers, but what do your work show? You know, how could you love the brotherhood if you're not doing the work diligently, right? You know, and you know that goes right along with, you know, faith without works is dead, right? But you know, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm just using that as an example. How could you say you love the brotherhood and you want to be with the brotherhood, but you're never doing the work of the Lord? You're never taking that extra step. You know, and that actually falls back on the 2 greatest commandments. You know, so you know it says love the Lord with all your heart, and you got to love the brotherhood. You gotta treat your brother with love. You know, going into the commandments, treat your brother how you would want to be treated. You know, you got some men that they treat the brothers really good, but then they lack when it comes to doing the work. You know, so how could you say you love the brotherhood and then you're not doing the work? Or you love the Lord and then you're not loving the brotherhood, right? So, but yes, man, I don't know, that was just on my mind. But yeah, you gotta give diligence. Study to show thyself approved. You got to be doing lessons. You got to be doing shows. You got to be keeping up with current events. Right? Yeah, man. But if you do these things, you shall never fall, man. You will never fall. And that's thus saith the Lord, man. Hey, the Lord is a power that cannot lie. If he says you won't fall, giving diligence, you won't fall. And you won't be a victim of the MOTB. A lot of people are going to get caught up in these last days with the MOTB. Hey, because there's going to be an ultimatum. You either take the chip or die. You either take the chip or starve. Right? Take the chip or starve to death. That's the ultimatum. Take the chip or be branded as an outcast. Hey. And that's what it's going to boil down to. You trust Esau and his wicked kingdom, this world, this system, or you trust Yahweh Shem Yoshai to the end. And you can never go wrong trusting Yahweh Shem Yoshai to the end. Because the Lord doesn't forsake those that love him and that seek him out. It's impossible. All right, man. So let me get last one here. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. We're going to start there. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay. All right. So yeah, you won't be able to buy or sell if you don't have that mark. Hey, whether you're rich, poor, free, or bond, man. On all levels, whatever status you're at, you need this to function in this wicked place. All right. And this is something that you do not want to take, man. Do not take it. All right, so I hope this was edifying. Till next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that I do learn from, and that do teach well, that have taught me this truth. To you I say shalom, and shalom unto the hopeful elect. Shalom.